Namaskar, and on behalf of J&A Bharat HSC Foundation and J&A Global HSC Foundation, we welcome you for the first outreach, mentoring, and leadership webinar. We call it as a OML. We have been doing OKTs, which is outreach knowledge transfer sessions, but this is our first outreach, mentoring, and leadership session exclusively for the our recently established AP Chef, which is AP Students Health and Safety Environment Fraternity, and we have a very learned leader with us today. He is going to talk about 50 years in HSC, lessons from lifetime experience, wisdom for the future, an exclusive inspirational session for students and emerging HSC professionals. So it's our honor to be, we'll be listening to him. He's our founding trustee also, fellow founding trustee. Before that, we would like to briefly explain about our virtual meeting protocol. Kindly mute your microphone and raise the hand whenever you want to speak. Switch off your camera and if the connection is very weak. And you can also post your queries, comments, or suggestions in the chat box. And this meeting is being recorded for our purpose. Kindly register your name, company, designation, phone, email ID in the chat box. Please stay for the ceremony, group photo, and networking at the end of the vote of thanks. Again, this is going to be a wonderful lessons learned session. On the right side, you can see the QR code, which takes you to our knowledge WhatsApp hub. You can join and exchange the information on the round-the-clock basis. This is going to be our agenda. We will have a brief opening remarks. Then we will also listen from our conveners of AP Chef, Mr. Madhu Bura and Mr. Jayanti Lachaya, on why we started this. It is their brainchild, in fact. AP Chef is their brainchild. We also have a guest of honor today, Dr. K.V. Ramana, Principal JICE, Visakhapatnam, Excellence Through Exposure. This is the title I have chosen. I'm sure guys, students knows why we have chosen this title, and I'm sure Dr. K.V. Ramana is very well connected with this tagline. And next we listen from our founding trustee, Mr. Jitu, on 50 years in HSC, lessons from lifetime experience, wisdom for the future, an exclusive inspirational session for students and emerging HSC professionals. And as per our conveners, we have a number of students already enrolled. And of course, we are the conveners, but our idea is to make the leaders, students, we should be able to organize the things and make the leadership. So we'll be requesting the volunteers from the enrolled students to take this initiative forward and to support this initiative. That's about our agenda, ending with the networking session. So with that, I request Mr. Jitu for a quick remarks. Jitu?
Ashokji, thank you very much for opening the floor. I want to just address to my young friends and also faculty, and if there are any dignitaries, and as a heads up, I would like to say that I'm a deaf person, but God has given me a good gift that I can talk, and I can talk loud and long till you tell me to shut up. So forgive me for my impaired hearing difficulties, but otherwise we will have a good session, and I'm delighted to be with all young friends to share my lifelong journey with some experiences that may help them to enhance their vigor, their goals, and achieve nothing but the best. If we can go to the next slide, Ashokji.
Okay, thank you, Jit Saab. And I just want to briefly talk about our friends who are joining first time. This is more than 9 decades together. We have been giant experience, I can say. We have been supporting the HSC professionals around the globe. You can see the little blue flags there. And with the support, with the extending the support in mind to India, we established this Bharat HSC Foundation on 25th March 2022 during the COVID time. We also further expanded to the Global HSC Foundation on 30th November 2022. As part of our foundation objectives, we will be coordinating with the professional organizations, corporate organizations, academic institutions, and individuals. Again, we are just emphasizing that it is a charity organization to talk in Indian language. It's a foundation. It's not a membership organization. You don't need to pay anything, but you are welcome to support the foundation by in terms of the knowledge sharing, in terms of the financial support, so in terms of the volunteering, all those things. Today we are having in line with our mission and vision objectives, we are having this particular session exclusively for our students fraternity, and our objectives are basically to advance the profession, to support and promote our occupational safety as a career choice among students, to inspire and develop the leaders, to provide education and developmental opportunities. And again, we have a recognition programs. We also do some sort of a awareness and training programs for the outreach and public. We also have a similar a memorandum of understanding with the similar associations. And as I was telling that we established this on 22nd of July, APSHEF, which stands for the Andhra Pradesh Student Health and Safety Environmental Fraternity. Uh, Basically, we established this on the request of Mr. Madhu Bura as well as Mr. Jayanti. I invite them to speak. What is the objectives behind this AP Chef? What are the goals? And we'll start with Madhu Bura Garu in quick remarks, then Jayanti Lachaya Garu. Then I will show you the what are our objectives and other things. Mr. Madhuji.
Good evening to everybody.
Yes.
It was our intention at J&A Bharat to promote safety culture to the students, especially from whether arts or engineering, and to also develop them the skill so that subsequently when they join any organization, it will be a benefit for them. So with these, I want to just address the students who have joined from GUIS. The dear students and emerging HSC professionals pursuing safety. Safety isn't just a subject in your textbook. It's a responsibility you carry for every life on site, in the factory, and in the community. You're not just a safety person. You're the voice of the person who can't speak up. You're the barrier between a normal day and a tragedy. Never let anyone make you feel small for caring about PPE, procedures, or a near miss report. That's leadership. Learn the rules, then learn the why. Understanding human behavior keeps people alive. Such incidents with studying them and site visits, talking to workers, then you are the best HSC professional. You will face pressure. Let it go this once. To stay quiet, real safety professionals choose courage in that moment. One difficult conversation today can prevent a lifetime of regret tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Be a student forever. Hazards change, technology changes, laws change. Invest in your learning, but also learn communication, empathy, and how to influence without authority. Celebrate the wins no one sees. No accidents, no injuries, a worker going home safe. That's your key performance indicator. Remember, the world needs more HSC professionals with heart and knowledge. The future of safety is in your hands. Make us proud at J&A Bharat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the encouraging remarks. And be a student forever is a very wonderful message you are given. That's why we are doing several sessions on regular basis. Before I show the objectives of the AP chef, I just would like request Mr. Jayanti Lachaya Garu to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. Jitu Patel ji, CPEA, FASSP, Ashok Garlapati, CSP, CFI, OSH, QUP, FASSP, and my senior colleague in Vishakhapatnam, Madhu Burra. The Madhu Burra family, Madhu is the name, Burra family is very familiar in Vishakhapatnam. They always try to encourage the people in the society. So I know this, not from now, from 60 years. To coming to the point, as Madhu sir rightly said, J&A Bharat is the platform which are spreading at various places, as we see in the map, 14 countries. But for the student chapter, when Madhuji and me, we discussed on 20th of July, and it took shape on 22nd July. So that means our initiation is not that credibility. The credibility goes to Jitu Patel and Ashok Garlapati sirs. So it's really a great opportunity for the students who are in Visakhapatnam. I want to quote one small thing because Madhu sir said everything. And I want to quote one thing. Being the student of Government Polytechnic Visakhapatnam and passed out in 1977, and I did my engineering in by part-time course. I have seen there is no single opportunity for the safety professionals working in Andhra Pradesh in those days. So when I first registered for an application to AP Productivity Council for 800 rupees for a diploma, 1 year course diploma. So what they did, they held the application with them for 6 months. After that, I got a regret letter stating, sorry, we don't get sufficient number of people to fill the platform and run the course. So this was the scenario. Then I did my course in Annamala University for 1 year, safety in chemical industries. Okay. Then within the 1 year, I did 6 months course, another private institution that's also in Chennai. So that was the state of affair in AP, Andhra Pradesh. So now also in Andhra Pradesh, I thought, being inspired by Jitu Bhai and Ashok Bhai and Produturi sir, Madhu sir, and various other gentlemen who are in the quorum, why can't we do something for the good of our people in Vishakhapatnam and as a whole in Andhra Pradesh? This is our first step. As Madhu sir and me, we had a discussion. This is the first step. We started this quorum from AP, Vishakhapatnam, and with the support of Jitu Bhai and Ashok Patel, Garlapati Ashok, and Madhu sir and all my senior team members, we will spread this to further areas. With this, I congratulate first of all to all the student members of guys and the principals are who has come forward to nominate the people. Now the 26 people whom we nominated, it is for starting the chapter. Okay. Now there are total 93 people are there who are going to join. I already talked to them and we are in that line. The registration have come in the first stage, and now this registration for this quorum has delayed with some people, and maybe with this quorum whoever met here, okay, and we'll get good support. Almost 36 people are here today, okay, and I thank once again J&A Bharat HSA Foundation and the student fraternity of AP students fraternity, APSHEF. Congratulate once again. And as we stated, and this was very well designed by Ashok Galapati and Jitu Bhai, you see, learn, lead, serve, and give back. This is the beautiful quote they have mentioned. Okay, with this theme, we work together and we strengthen our J&A Bharat, and through AP students HSC fraternity, we will spread this further. And remember, today you are a student and you are already a J&A Bharat member. At the same time, J&A EHS International Foundation. It's a great opportunity. Thanks once again to Jitu Bhai and Ashok ji and every team member of J&A Bharat. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jayanti ji. And before we hand over to the guest of honor today, Professor Principal K.V. Ramanagaru, and from GAIS, as well as Manchikanti Srinivas, Professor of Civil Engineering, Gayatri Engineering College, and other professors who joined today. Before we hand over to them, we just want to briefly cover what exactly is this AP Chef. As Mr. Jayanti ji already said, the motto is learn, lead, serve, and give back. And our vision is to develop the ethical, competent, and socially responsible HSC professionals committed to lifelong learning, what Mr. Madhubura said, professional excellence, giving back to society and HSC profession. The mission is to empower HSC students through mentoring, networking, professional development, volunteerism, and leadership. That's why our session is called the Outreach, Mentoring, and Leadership session. So, and we have the 5 key objectives focusing on the professional development, building the professional networks, giving back to the profession, leadership, ethics, and lifelong learning, mentoring, and career support. And we have the enrollment forms. Basically, these enrollment forms are collecting your information in what areas you are studying and who is your faculty member supporting this and what are your interests, volunteering interests, as well as, where exactly you want to achieve. Those are the things we are expecting in this enrollment form. And this is about our AP Chef web page in our foundation website. So you can always go through that. And with that, we would like to invite our guest of honor today. And so we already seen this. And yes, Dr. K.V. Ramanagaru, Principal GAIS, Vishakhapatnam, to say a few words, but we just want. I went to the GAIS website. I really liked it, and their motto is excellence through exposure. And I really appreciate Dr. K.V. Ramanagaru for encouraging their students to be part of this AP Chef. That's what is achieving excellence through exposure. So a lot of exposure their students are getting. Handing over to Dr. K.V. Ramanagaru for a few remarks. K.V. Ramanagaru.
Yeah. So good evening, Mr. Ashok Garapati and Jitu Patel, and my teaching staff, Jayanti Lachi Garu, and a professional from Burra Madhugaru. Thank you very much. So actually, our motto is, as you know, for any government, people's first.
Yes.
For any education institution, students first. Similarly, for any organization or establishment or industry or factory, safety first. This is
True.
my opening remarks. So safety first, everything next.
Yes.
So ours is the only government institute offering safety courses in the entire technical education of Andhra Pradesh. 87 government polytechnics are there, and 167 private polytechnics are there in the state of Andhra Pradesh, in which our polytechnic or our government Institute of Chemical Engineering diploma level is offering these safety courses. The first one is industrial safety, the second one is fire safety, and third one is chemical safety. These are the only 3 courses running since last 8 years. The industrial safety batch is the 8th batch is running, but it is the certificate is given by the highest affiliating authorities, State Board of Technical Education and Training, under the Ministry of Technical Education once upon a time. Now it is under the Department of Higher Education, the Government of Andhra Pradesh. The both technical education and collegiate education merged with the higher education of the Government of Andhra Pradesh. So ours is the only institute offering these courses, government. And STPC courses, that means short-term professional courses like fire safety and these chemical safety, and 1 year is industrial safety. From this year onwards, And NCVET, the National Council of Vocational Education and Training, is also awarding body and dual certificate. Those who completed this GACE certificate from the industrial engineer, so they awarded the certificate from the both SBTET and NCVT Delhi. It is a global recognition also. We already registered an MOU with this SBTET AP for this NCVT rules and regulations. Ours is the first government institute MOU with the SBTET AP to offer the NCVT courses. So
Nice.
all the students who are trained from our Government Institute of Chemical Engineering, they are getting dual certificate. It is given by both SBTET AP and NCVT and NQRF. You know this National Skill Development Corporation. The
True.
NQR, according to NQR qualification, so the BTech is only eligible, but the BSc and are not eligible. But according to that qualification, register and qualification file, so we are offering both the courses. Those who are interested applying for the NCVT, they get the dual certificate from the approved by both SBTET AP and NCVT Delhi. And NCVT is going to in soon in manner, it is also got global recognition for these courses. That is named as industrial safety engineer. Industrial safety engineer. Everything is online and based on FRS citizens, and also both practicals and even examinations is also in objective type for all the 8 papers, the 100 marks. This is on par with the National Qualification Register and NQR. So this with this remarks, and also my congratulate my students. About 20 to 29 students are enrolled in this JNDA Bharat. I'm very happy, and near future also we are starting the chapter and FSCLA chapter and JNDA Bharat chapter with this our GAC students, regular students. We are offering the 4 regular courses in the Government Institute of Chemical Engineering, but this is the only institute and unique institute in the entire state of Andhra Pradesh. We are offering the Diploma in Chemical Engineering and Diploma in Chemical Engineering and Petrochemical Specialization and Diploma in Chemical Engineering Plastic and Polymer Specialization and Diploma in Chemical Engineering Oil Technology. That means edible oil, not crude oil technology. These are the 4 unique courses in the entire Andhra Pradesh, but in which 3 courses are the nowhere offered. So plastic and polymers and petroleum technology and oil technology courses. But these 3 courses are unique courses in its nature. And recently, I got and appointed as a nodal officer from the government of Andhra Pradesh to use feasible study report of establishing a CPET and IPT. The CPET means Central Institute of Petrochemical Engineering and Technology, and Institute of Petroleum Technology has to establish in the state of Andhra Pradesh, especially in Visakhapatnam. I'm the nodal officer to coordinate with the Director of Industries and the DG CPET. That means Professor Sisha Sinha. So we are going to, so near future we will study, and tomorrow we will be busy with these all these persons, because the tomorrow is Bhogapuram Airport inauguration day. So every official is very busy with this. Even also, I am also today participated in the 5K run, Uttarandhra Kalalaku Rekkalu. So everyone is, every government employee and every citizen of Andhra Pradesh and citizen of this North Andhra people are very anxious to open the tomorrow's GMR airport at Bhogapuram. So that is also one of the connectivity for the establishing these institutes. So if these establish the CPET and IPT and feasibility study report given by me to the government, after that it will going to establish in this Visakhapatnam. So this is a very important assignment to me. So for that, I know I already agreed, institution is more important than individual. For this institution also, I got, even though university professors are there, university chemical engineering department is there, but I got this opportunity through the government of Andhra Pradesh and Commissioner of Higher Education as a nodal officer to coordinate with the Director of Industries and DG CPET. So this is my from side and signing off. This is Dr. Ramana and Principal Government Institute of Chemical Engineering.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing elaborate information on the guys and how it is supporting the local community there. We appreciate and for your support and encouragement to the students also. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So let's go into our topic of today for the benefit of all our students as well as emerging HSC professionals. Mr. Jitu Patel, our founding trustee, is going to share how he has started his journey from India to the world. Mr. Jitu.
Ashok ji, thank you for giving me the floor. And I was really delighted to hear all the previous short but very powerful presentations by Madhuji, Jayantiji, and this professor, highly educated and well disciplined and directed Dr. Ramana, Professor Ramana. So my presentation is already done, and I'm proud to say that all what I heard, that is what I'm going to share with all the young people in about the next 50 to 60 minutes time, giving reasons, giving stories, what really all these profound, knowledgeable people want young people to be and how they can be. That's what I would like to cover my presentation about. And in fact, in that, I would like to start with saying that during my talk, I would attempt to cover my childhood, my career path, my plans for the career, the work as a scientist. Before I became the safety specialist, I happened to be doing a lot of laboratory and a pilot plant scale research in the United Kingdom, in Switzerland, and in Saudi Aramco, which is the largest oil company in the world. And this is what I would like to share some stories. And those stories led me after my retirement. In fact, the thoughts came before retirement, and proud to say that I came and God blessed me with a young friend called Ashok Garlapataji, who you just met him. And we both together for the last over 2 decades doing noble causes events and sharing knowledge and helping the what we call underprivileged young people and those students who have desires but not resources. Our foundations are to support them and guide them to achieve their goals. So with that, let me walk you through the journey of my life experiences that can help. And to start with, I will just say that I was born in India in a very humble family background, and we lived in a textile campus where our home was really very small but cozy. And right behind our home, there was a wilderness. And in that wilderness, we were watching, seeing, and even suffering from the wildlife. That includes even large cobras. And one day, one morning, when I was a little schoolboy, walking in the morning to school, I noticed that a big cobra was already settled in the baby's cot, and the baby was sleeping. And that really was frightening to me at that childhood, even any age. So there were many options to me, and they were considered to remove the cobra. But there was always a fear that the cobra might get agitated and bite the baby. So the advice of an older woman in the neighborhood was, and that is what we call in today's science, job safety analysis or assessment. Do not do anything that could be detrimental. Just keep an eye on the baby and also on cobra. Baby woke up very soon and began kicking his feet and waving his hands, and every so often his near side hand would strike the cobra. Finally, after a few minutes, The snake slowly started to move out of the bed. The grown-ups caught the snake, and the same old lady advised, do not kill it. Take it far away and release it in the wilderness. That is called that in olden days, even that lady had some good thinking of ecology and environment saving. My parents, whom I had informed and who made a big deal out of it and then saved that baby, the parents of that baby were very grateful to me as a child, and they brought some sweets, typical Indian cultural values. Lesson learned from the story are timely incident reporting, effective leadership that old lady provided, risk assessment, planning and execution as planned, and recognition by the parents who came with the sweet. That is all ended up with a job well done and a motivation to people in the neighborhood and became a talk of the town. So always from that childhood, I started thinking that we all must do things right. If we go to the slide, next one, Ashokji. As I said, my background was very humble. The minimum age of elementary school in my days was 6 years. But by the time I was 4, I was anxious to go to school with my older brothers. Our classroom was, as you can see in this slide, it was a tamarind tree. It was a tamarind tree. My classmates and I sat in rows on a dirt ground beneath us. My secondary school was almost 3 miles away. Walking during summer was difficult with well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit temperature. I walked barefoot to school over dirt, rocks, and even molten tarmac roads. Burns made blisters on my foot. I was very ambitious and eager to learn and to master new challenges. The only way to study was by paraffin lanterns. Like many, we did not have any expensive toys or games, but that did not stop us from having fun. Necessity is the mother of invention. We made our own games and equipment and did not cost a penny or paisa. I'm told that I was aggressive in games, sports, and studies. Next slide, please. I attribute all what I am today to my godfather, known as Kaka Sahib. He was a chemistry professor at a very leading university. Due to health problems, he was never married. Later in life, he devoted all his life to students. All his life, he was a top-notch consultant throughout India. In those days, there were only 10 PhDs throughout nation. During 4 years of my taking his care, Kaka Saheb, I learned how to cook, how to attend any medical emergencies, including urgent care for him. He gave me opportunities to associate closely with successful people. That included even the chief minister of the state and president of All India Medical Association. Kaka Saheb was an advisor to the Indian military. My pre-military training began with the National Cadet Corps during my high school and college education, as you can see in the picture. I am a strong believer that such military training should be mandatory for all in the nation, not only just in India, but throughout the world. I learned discipline and the importance of civil obedience. I lived a simple but clean and healthy life. I learned punctuality, time management, politeness, and respect for all. He taught me to hold my head up high with self respect and to be strong with self confidence. I learned also from him how to speak with authority. Next slide, please. Soon after my bachelor degree in chemistry as well as in physics, I began teaching undergraduate students at a science college. During vacations, I interned as a color chemist in the local textile New Shorak mills owned then by Mafatlal Group, the dyeing, bleaching, and printing quality control lab. I began applying for overseas training, and Sandoz offered me to work in their pharmaceutical lab in Switzerland. I received a stipend of 200 Swiss francs per week in 1964. It was a lot of money in those days. From there, I went to London, where I worked 12-hour shifts as a machine operator in a plastic molding company, where I learned hard work, sincerity, dedication, responsibilities, and working as a member of the team. I never forgot my father's parting advice to me at Santa Cruz Airport in 1964. Now that you are leaving the country, my son, I have something I want to tell you. Always keep your hands up by giving to others. Avoid begging or taking anything from others. When you have a giving nature, God will give you more to give. And that is the message I was given by my father. So, if we go to the next one,
Yeah, this one.
I have lived in so many places in my different in many different countries around the world. Many have asked me, where do I feel in my heart I belong? After 21 years of my childhood in India, I lived for 4 months in Switzerland, 15 months in Glasgow in Scotland, post graduation for 3 years in Leeds University in England, 13 years in a beautiful medieval city of Chester while working for Associated Octal, owned by oil company, UK oil companies, 21 years, glorious years in Aramco Beach House in Saudi Arabia, and since retirement, 23 years now in Phoenix, where I'm speaking from. Amongst all the lovely homes in the world, I still say that my heart belongs to Glasgow, where my life is changed. I learned there to be self sufficient, self supporting, and self reliant. Glasgow is where I learned to live my life with self respect. The very first day I arrived in Glasgow, my brother, older brother, told me that he would meet me at a bus station when I arrived from London. When my coach arrived on the freezing cold morning, my brother wasn't there. I waited for more than 1 hour. Then I carried my bags to the newspaper man sitting in the corner. This taught me and it lessons to all of us, expect the unexpected in whatever things you do. When I told my troubles to the newspaper man, He picked my heavy bag and took me to the nearest bus stop. He told me number 10 bus would take me where I need to go. Then he walked back to his newspaper stall. The bus arrived, and so did the newspaper man also ran to come back to the bus. He spoke to the bus conductor and said in Gaelic English, Gaelic English means it's a Scottish way of speaking English, that this lad, this boy, needs to go to Sauchiehall Street. He should get off at the last stop. I boarded the bus and found a seat. Suddenly, I saw the same newspaper man running behind the bus and boarded the bus, and he paid my bus fare and did not leave. The newspaper man took my heavy bags again all the way up to my brother's apartment, which was on the third floor. I rang the bell. My brother's roommate answered. He was surprised to see me alone. Your brother went to fetch you, he said. He wasn't there, I told. I turned to the newspaper man and took out £1 bill and said, you have been kind to bring me right up to where I really wanted to go, and you even paid my fare. Please take it. I don't have any small change. The newspaper man told me, and this is worth listening, I am his guest here. This town, you are welcome. I am alone and I am a stranger. I needed help, and that's all I did. That's that Scottish newspaper man told me. That was really touching. I never forget that. Next slide, please. In Glasgow, I saw many Indian students did labor. Ashokji, can you go back to the previous one, please? I saw many Indian students did laborious work to support their college education, including my own brother. A good example of a self-made individual who was my brother's friend. His name is Sunil. He was the son of the Indian wealthy industrialist in India, in Gujarat. Sunil was working in a local bakery. It was a hard work. It was a night shift because during the day he will be in the university. His hands were blistered from handling hot pans. I asked Sunil, why are you doing this job? Your father is a rich industrialist. You would inherit his wealth and someday you will be running his company. He told me, you are absolutely right, but I do not want people to know me as the son of a wealthy man. I want people to know me as Sunil. I want my own identity where no one can say that Sunil is successful because of his father. I want people to see me as a role model who progressed on his own merits. His words cracked the camel's back as far as I'm concerned, and I decided to stay on in Glasgow. I only went to see my brother, but that made me to stay on. I worked hard as a corporation bus conductor where the money was good and saved enough money to support my 3-year post-graduation education. Glasgow is the place where I learned to live my life with self-respect, and the people of Glasgow welcomed me with such generosity and warmth. My heart will always belong to Glasgow with gratitude. Now, next slide, please. In response to my applications to postgraduate study, I received 2 positive replies. One from Imperial College in London, which is like MIT in United States, and the other from Leeds University. Interestingly enough, the first letter offered me the place for the master's in aeronautical engineering with full scholarship, whereas Leeds University offered me to do PhD in petroleum science, which is what I wanted to pursue further. However, the letter was very explicit that there is neither scholarship nor any financial aid. I considered my options very carefully. On one hand, I had a full scholarship, but it was of least interest to me the project was, or even the subject matter was. On the other hand, I had a great career opportunity at Leeds, but no financial support. God gave me the strength to make a decision. And this is where I want you all to hear. Decision making is very important. You may go failure, you may succeed, but you have to be a good decision maker based on your all things put together scientifically, intellectually, and otherwise. I had saved enough money to support my higher education for the next 3 years. I accepted the Leeds University offer and paid my fees. Within 1 month of my starting to the university education and research, I was told by my professor to prepare for the United Kingdom Gas Corporation scholarship examination. 3 of us who were interviewed were accepted for the scholarship. At the same time, when I was writing my thesis for PhD, my professor, the same professor, appointed me as an experimental research officer. Upon completion of my thesis, he made me a full-time undergraduate lecturer. I published and presented 2 papers at an international symposium in 1967. My work resulted in modification of the existing domestic cooking range burners and also the burners for industrial boilers, utilizing recently discovered natural gas in the North Sea. It also had application in jet propulsion engines. British Petroleum at Sunbury and Associated Octal, owned by oil company as UK oil companies I mentioned earlier, and Shell Dutch at Stanlow Refinery offered me a position in the R&D department. Subsequently, my presentation on those 2 papers I just mentioned. I told my professor that I am going to continue working under him only. You have been so kind to me throughout my education and in my now paid employment career. Professor laughed at me and said, "Well, my young friend, that is too bad. These companies have already approached me and I have already given them my recommendations. You would be wise enough to select one of those 3. And if you ask me, I would recommend to choose Associated Octal, owned by oil companies in this country." I joined the Associated Octal, where I spent more than 13 years and became a successful research scientist as well as technical officer. Next one, please. I conducted laboratory and pilot plant scale research at Octal, as I mentioned, in the field of fire and explosion, health and environment for safe processing, storage, and worldwide distribution of bulk quantities of chlorine, bromine, halogenated hydrocarbons, hydrogen, caustic, and acids, and handling 110 wells, and I repeat, 110 wells of molten sodium and ultimate product of antinox lead compounds, which were used then as lead additives for gasoline. You can imagine, we just heard Professor mentioning about chemical safety. If you are handling and making in bulk quantity of chlorine out using Claude's process from brine, sodium chloride, or even extract bromine from seawater, which is 0.01 parts per billion concentration in seawater, and also making halogenated material, buying the saturated hydrocarbon from the refineries and making this halogenated material, and eventually making them to react with sodium lead alloy. And that's where we had 110 wells of sodium, and they are in molten condition. And you can imagine what it can do to you. In the laboratory, you may have experienced a small piece of sodium in a kerosene or paraffin bottle. What it can do as soon as you take it out, and it can just spontaneously start reacting from the moisture, producing hydrogen and igniting and exploding. So this is what I had been dealing with. During 1974, a cargo ship named Kaftat collided with another ship and sunk in the Mediterranean Sea just off the Italian coast. And Kaftat carried highly toxic organic metallic lead compounds, which we were exporting throughout the world except United States, having the toxicity value of 0.01 parts per million. It can enter the body by ingestion, inhalation, or direct absorption, causing severe fatal lead poisoning. And these little fingers played with it, but safely. I did not have any safety education, but dealing with some wretched, nasty, corrosive, flammable, reactive, carcinogen material, you have to taught yourself something to be safe for yourself and to safety of your colleagues and your company and as your employers. So next one, Aksokji, is you just heard me about the products. 900 drums of this deadly compound were sunk in that Kaftat that I mentioned about. Several drums had ruptured because they were become unsecured, and they collided with each other, spreading the spill widely, causing miles more of contamination in the sea. That would be extremely dangerous to environment, with potential to kill many thousands of coastal residents and to the tourists, in addition to all the sea creatures. Millions of sea creatures, fish, shrimps, and you name it, all were killed. Next one is, it took us Ashokji, can you take back to the drums? Yes, thank you. It took us 4 years of intense research in developing a safe cleanup plan and procedures of the catastrophe. We just had it at our hand. Each diver was fully covered, masked, and well trained. We conducted mock runs in clean waters. After successful tests, we allowed the divers to erect the platforms in the contaminated 1 mile deep sea. Then we began the exhaustive decontamination process for removing the drums, cleaned the beaches and the seawater. I acted as an advisor for the documentary made by Jacques Cousteau. You just saw his picture in a previous slide. He was the Frenchman. Many of you may have seen his environmental documentaries globally. The spill was contained successfully, and we salvaged all the drums. We were able to save the lives of many thousands of people. Unfortunately, the environment was greatly impacted. Many millions of sea creatures, as I mentioned, were lead poisoned and dead. My mission is and always is to protect people, property, and environment. But sometimes I feel like a lone crusader. Toxic waste is growing on a unbelievable scale. So next one is Ashokji, please. I am passionate about passing the baton of this responsibility on to the next generation. I consider young professionals and students like many of you to be the asset and the future of our nation and the world at large. This is why Ashokji and I are very much involved in education and training, amongst many other things. Dr. Ed Gibson and Mr. Mark Grushka, if you saw it to the next one, please. Ashok, the next one is. Here is the slide showing you Dr. Gibson, Mr. Mark Grushka, who are very good friends, and they are from the same city where I am now living for last 23 plus years. And they came to see me and Ashokji, and we had a meeting at the Professional Development Conference, International Conference of the American Society of Safety Professionals in Las Vegas. And we discussed many things, amongst which, after that meeting, I was offered to chair the Fulton Engineering School head, meaning chair. And I said, I'm a retired old man. I don't need to take any responsibility. But if you tell me what is your objective, which we fulfilled at no cost to anybody between Ashok and I, and help them to establish Global Safety Center at Arizona State University in about 2012 or thereabout. And that is still going strong. And every 6 months, they submit a report to me on a personal basis as a senior board advisor of the Arizona chapter there. So next one is Ashokji. Here is the similar story. I worked with IIT Gandhinagar in Gujarat and helped establish the similar process safety center in India, where I conducted a subject workshop that was well attended by over 100 Indian industries and government regulatory authority members, which is ongoing under our great friend, Mr. Venki, who is the current advisor to the IIT Gandhinagar, and he is part of our JNA Bharat Foundation as an advocate. Next one is, please. Here is the picture in action that I mentioned the faculty by speaking and chairing the IIT Gandhinagar conference, which is seen in progress. Next one, please. This is what Ashok and I are. We are always among young boys and girls, students, and this is at UPES, University of Petroleum Engineering and Science. I also established an extraordinary student chapter of ASSP involving graduate program students at UPES University, located up on the Himalayan mountain in Dehradun, which was seeds were sown by Ashokji as a part of university while conducting his PhD there. Next one, please. Funny enough, it was a great honor for me to be invited as a guest of honor, and I had to use the chief guest to chair and speak at the national level Environmental Architecture and Landscaping Conference at HNGU University in Patan, Gujarat, India, where I also was successful in founding a student chapter. Next one is, if our Professor Ramana Guru is on this webinar, similarly, Ashokji and I completed the task that was started by ASSP ambassadors, both him and Ashokji and myself at NICMAR, founding NICMAR ASSP student chapter with support from the dean then, Professor Ramanagaru, and the renowned environmental industrialist, Mr. Nagarajun. Next one, please. Many of you will remember many of the people in this slide. With great support from the incoming and outgoing regional vice president regional vice president Ashok Garlapati then, and Mr. Madhu Buragaru, we founded the ASSP Andhra Pradesh chapter. I was happy to conduct seminars during my 3 separate visits, including addressing the local Rotarians in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Thanks to Madhu Guruji, who made my dream come true to visit Visakhapatnam when I was a little child. Thank you so much. Next one, please. In 1980, when I left United Kingdom and took a job with Saudi Aramco, in those days Aramco, we loved our beautiful Aramco home right on the beach for 21 years in Saudi Arabia. Every evening, I used to go for a walk. Ashok, can you just, I'm in the wrong slide, 23, yes. We already talked about Pune, where we did a lot of work. We also talked about this, but I wanted to say something that if you see number 23 slide, that's 22, which is the Indian. I'll go back to that. I will just share with the people here. Look at the what we call the West. This is all West of high tech, the computers, high tech smartphones, and all kinds of things. Almost 50 tons of waste we throw in India alone. And now, next one, please. I wanted to share this story with you as you all are growing and shining young people. In 1980, I left UK and took a job of Aramco, as I said. Every evening, we used to go for a walk with the family together on the campus ground. Walking tracks were located near the baseball field. There were also tennis courts, American football, and soccer fields. These sport grounds and automatic floodlights are the major issue that I want to share with you. The lights would turn on automatically at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun is belting away in the sky and it is still bright and it's very hot and shining. They would automatically get switched off at the midnight at 12 midnight. The heat from the light added to already sweltering weather made everybody's walk uncomfortable. I therefore counted the number of poles, each having 25 to 30 bulbs, and each bulb was 5,000 watts. I also determined how long the floodlights were needed during the games and practice time. The company accepted my computations, and then subsequent recommendations reported and began saving $450 million annually, with substantial reduction in carbon dioxide emission as well. So you can imagine, in a daily operation, daily living, we should keep our eyes, ears, and all other senses on full alert to notice something that can bother you, and that you should be brought up to the authority for action. Next one, please. This is an interesting story. I call it Bob's story. Here is another interesting story of an engineer called Bob. He was known as Bob. Unfortunately, Bob used to get transferred from one department to the other within a large corporation that we all were in, like a shuttle ball, When asked to managers concerned, and I said, "Why are you doing this to Bob?" Bob had an excellent work experience, but had an irritating attitudinal problem. They would do anything to have him out of their departments or site. I suggested them give Bob a chance. And guess what? Bob ended up in my team. I assigned Bob to work in the world's largest refinery's highest risk plants. I personally oriented Bob to explain the expectation. I began receiving feedback of mixed nature from the proponent organization. In 4 weeks, I met with Bob to review his performance. I told Bob that he was doing an excellent job, and that wasn't the true statement that I really had received. But just to motivate him, I mentioned to him that he's doing a great job and suggested some room for improvement. Bob resumed his duties with a much different and friendlier approach. On one occasion, the refinery, very, very near a time of that interview I had with him, refinery faced with a major shutdown of 2 mega power generations. The repair by Japanese experts would be costly and time consuming. I asked the refinery general manager if Bob could troubleshoot, and he himself had also thrown out of Bob from his department, and he was reluctant to accept my request. But he respected me, and he says, okay. Bob worked tirelessly, long hours, and identified the problem in no time and offered solutions. He fixed the generator at almost no cost within 3 days. Bob saved many, many, many millions of dollars and several weeks of shutdown time. By acknowledging what Bob did right, his entire behavior changed. Ultimately, all the managers and above who transferred Bob from their organization begged to me to have him back to their organization. The lesson learned is you have to know your employee, you have to learn what he is expert in and utilizing, and then give him a little more challenging job that the employee can enjoy doing it and work well, happily with you. Next one is, I want to, with Madhu Bura's Guru's request, I want to share this with you a little more in detail, this story. And this story is, we experienced a mighty gas plant disaster causing explosions, followed by a massive fire in the Middle Eastern largest organization of oil and gas. The disaster resulted in fatalities, multi-million-dollar property damage, and a significant amount of production loss because of upset and loss of process plants. What went wrong? The simple answer is that preventive maintenance requirements were not followed. During a high humid environment, an electrical flashover occurred on a high voltage transformer, resulting in a power failure. The power was restored in few hours, but the plant startup procedures were ignored. A series of things went wrong until large quantities of leaked LPG ignited, causing explosions, and that were large enough to be heard and felt from 30 miles away. In no time, media began to ring into the organization, many different people asking question, what caused the explosion, how many died, and so on and so forth. That includes the Western media, that is CNN, BBC, and so on and so forth. The fire gained momentum and spread very quickly. People were running all over. I was right on site and not far from the first and the second explosions. Our top priority was to provide support to the management for the challenges at hand to minimize and contain damage and loss. We quickly established an on-site disaster control and management post. Suddenly, I heard a rumbling noise at the distance. I immediately thought it might be the superheated 32-inch diameter steam line. I saw a concerned senior member of the upper executive management going closer to the facility, walking toward the burning plant. He did not realize the danger involved. No way I could shout loud to warn him, as the fire was so loud and fierce. So I did the only thing I could. I ran to him and pushed him down and fell on top of him. Within a fraction of a millisecond, the huge steam line ruptured. It swung over our bodies. Once the danger passed, I quickly stood up and helped him to his feet also. He kissed me on my forehead, symbol of love for a savior. Head of the state of the nation, through senior executive management, including CEO and president, ordered to me to put the fire out of quickly. They did not want the media to make a sensational story about the event and was potentially detrimental to the image of company. And I repeat, to the image of the company. That is what they were more concerned of, rather than the life and the property damage. We would now we would not know where the liquefied petroleum gas might be trapped, waiting to explode. It was best for me as a person in charge that we let the fire burn and utilize the available resources to protect the neighboring facilities, to protect the human beings and all other things. In contrary to the management pressure demanding we put the fire out, we let it burn. A safety man's role, which Madhubura Guruji mentioned, safety man's role is not always easy, but we must take a stand and make our point clear. A short-term gain can bring long-term pain. If we had followed the orders and put the fire out, it might have resulted in more explosions, more wider and bigger scale fatalities, more property damage, and worsen the situation. It took almost 7 days before the fire was under control and extinguished. Everyone thought everyone, including my family, my superiors in the company, that I will face severe punitive actions from the higher ups for not abiding the orders. Much to my surprise, once they understood the reasoning behind our firm resolve, they were deeply appreciative of our actions. And all I can say is the truth hurts but prevails. And that is where I was given the title Father of Safety. Next one is, please. Shogji, I apologize. Can you go back? The second one, I want to just briefly mention that many of you may remember there was a mighty disastrous event occurred in 2009 in Jaipur. And in Jaipur terminal, distribution oil terminal, this fire was spread throughout. And I think, if I remember correctly, 13 storage tanks which were distributing the oil and other products in the not only state of Rajasthan but also neighboring states, they were devastated. As you can see, the fire in the corner saying Jaipur fire. 150 people were injured, 12 people had died, and $650 million worth property damage occurred, and almost large amount of petroleum products were burned, producing the smoke which you can see, which went right up to Delhi. And I am told that about 7 days, for 7 days, just like what I went through during Kuwait, 900 oil wells burned. 3 months we did not see the sun, but in Delhi, almost 7 days they were not able to see it. So my point here is, if you want to know more details, the Google has plenty of reports. But if Ashokji, if you flash back one more time, I can just tell them that this report is already there, and if people are interested, we will be happy to. Initial report, I was in Qatar at the time when this happened, and I got initial report which I can share with you all through our Jayantiji and Madhuji if they are interested. But you can Google it, and you will get more information to learn the case study more in detail. Now, thanks one, please. Here we are. We are still currently at the war. United States and Iran and many other countries are drawn into this. And my saying is that I was there during the Desert Storm, and my role in those days, in August 1990, when Iraq annexed Kuwait, there were reports of casualties, property damage, Iraqi soldiers occupying Kuwait. Even worse, the soldiers were treating civilians with nasty atrocities, to the extent that people were shot, beaten, robbed, and sexually assaulted at an unbelievable scale. We learned that Iraqi soldiers were marching towards Saudi Arabia. The largest refinery and the huge terminal of crude oil and LPG storage tanks are located very close from the Saudi Arabian side, I'm talking, where large number of oil tankers come, super tankers even come daily for loading oil and products to export to various countries. United States came to support Saudi Arabia, bringing with them massive military. It took 6 months to build up the strategic army, which was camped in the desert near Kuwait. Every weekend, Aramco expatriate residents like myself hosted U.S. soldiers to give them a family life. I was fortunate to host two high-rank U.S. Army generals in my home for 3 days and 3 nights and 4 days. I discussed with them the potential for disasters if Iraq attacked the world's largest refinery. I gave them a conducted tour of that refinery and explained risk factors, levels of severity, different scenarios, and the potential consequence of each thing happen. Subsequently, I ended up working with the United States Army as part of Aramco's contribution. My discussions helped them in deciding the locations for installing the Patriot missiles to protect their facilities. Our preparations proved successful when the U.S. Patriot missiles intercepted Iraqi missiles and protected the Aramco's vital installations and thereby protecting lives of large number of people. I also was involved in writing and executing the hostility plan for 3 countries at least. One was Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and other neighboring nations, including UAE, and Kuwait was already annexed. So that hostility plan was also found very useful, where we even made the general public to conduct the drills, mock runs, and that created some more like unpleasantness, but it was necessary. Next one, please. Saddam Hussein's army burned 900 Kuwait oil drums, as I mentioned. I was heavily involved in establishing air quality monitoring stations and advising for breathable air. Saddam also damaged some oil tankers and polluted the sea, causing damage to the beach. I was also engaged in cleaning the contaminated beaches in those days. And you can see the smoke and multiply one well into 900. So that really we used to issue on a daily basis 3 times in a day advisory to ensure that people wear the appropriate true mask so that their lungs will not be coated with this carbon particulate, which some of them contain metallic particulates, which were even carcinogen. So this is part of our duty, our responsibility to guide and monitor and train for the correct advice. We move on. Next one, please. You can see the significance and the amount of smoke produced by each well. And like I said, 3 months we didn't see the sun. Next one, please. This is an interesting story. You are listening to me, and Ashokji mentioned that I have 50 years professional experience in the field, but the same person committed unsafe act, and no one is exempt. And I want to tell that story to you, and then it has a lot of learning lesson potential. You will get a good kick out of my story. It is about me committing an unsafe act at home, which I reported as an off-the-job incident to my corporate executive management. The CEO and the president said to me on that conference call, Jitu, I want to see you and hear your story in full in my office. That was scary. When he saw me, he said, Jitu, When you reported your incident, I was stunned. How could Jitu do something unsafe? But immediately, the notion came in my mind, he says, that you could have easily hidden it. No one would have ever known that Jitu did something wrong as it happened in your home and there were no injuries. And yet, you were courageous enough to report that incident. Your example touched my heart. I have enormous respect for your honesty. I want your story to be heard throughout the corporation. Every single employee at all levels, including all the middle management and upper management and myself, should hear in full detail about it, including contracting company employees also. Here is the man, we know him as the father of safety, who committed unsafe act which he reported so that others do not repeat the mistake that he did. Thank you, Ashokji. Next one, please. At a vocational training summit in 2017 at the Chamber of Commerce, directed by His Majesty the King of Saudi Arabia and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and the U.S. Ambassador of Saudi Arabia, who introduced me, saying, Jitu was instrumental some 35 years ago at that time in establishing Saudi Arabian safety organization called SASO, which is minimum OSHA in USA. From no one before 1990, SASO now has over 27,000 standards. Other Gulf country council nations, that includes all Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE, Qatar, Oman, follow Saudi Arabian standards. I did it. I said to the summit attendants, which were the top-notch world renowned president of universities and other corporations, there was a need for it, and that's all I did it. To my fellow professionals, I would say that nothing goes unnoticed. If you are doing something with good intent and for others, and that too selflessly. Yet another good example. The next one is my technical and professional contributions, social and humanitarian charitable tasks, volunteer work supporting Save Our Trees, water conservation, road safety, home safety, first and CPR, public hygiene and health, drug abuse, sanitation and cleanliness, along with process plant safety, were recognized as a recipient of a Lifetime Achievement EHS Health Safety Environment Safety Standout Award at the 5th Annual Safety Summit in Orlando, Florida in 2018. Here in this slide, you are seeing the Aramco executives in managing safety that I supported with for large number of direct and indirect employees and protecting property worth nearly $10 trillion asset. Next one, please. I'm proud to share that I worked with Telangana chapter president then, Madhu Nalan Chakravarti, and inspired Apollo hospitals in providing the needed support in public health awareness and training people becoming capable in administering first aid and CPR, which has been enhanced by our own Dr. Lakshmi Narayan and Professor Ramana Guru. And this was inspired to me from the resulting death of our former President APJ Abdul Kalam, who was having a massive attack, and there was not a single person in that summit who could administer CPR on him. That really needed to be correcting, and our foundation is doing our best to help in Hyderabad and around other states. Next one is I and my good friend Ashokji participated in all Middle Eastern professional development conferences for last many years. Myself for 36 years and Ashokji for last almost more than 10 years as its pioneer and founder with great pride as a keynote speaker, session chair, and the conference organizing committee advisor. Next one. I also provided guidance and assistance to UAE in public and private sectors, working with the director of Dubai ports, and you can see some of them. They are all higher up people reporting directly to the Sheikh of Dubai and Sheikh of Abu Dhabi, including customs and free zones. Next one, please. Ashokji and I founded the first, and I repeat, the first ever ASSP India chapter, which is still going strong and was hosted by Larsen and Tobro in Chennai in 2012. Next one, please. I have visited many major corporations globally. Since retirement in 2001, this includes Kuwait Oil Company, Kuwait Petroleum Company, Aramco, Sabic Industries, National Petroleum, Reliance of India, L&T, Schneider Electricals, and many, many more in providing effective health, safety, and environment leadership support. So this is where you are seeing me in Tata Steel, and I was honored by late Shri Ratanshi Tata 3 times, 2 times personally, and 1 time even virtually. He introduced me in Hyderabad in Tata Stride. So next one is, please. In our continued endeavors, we also successfully launched and established the Philippine chapter, and we met senators and industry executives in Manila in Philippines. Next one is, this one is a kicker. I am a close associate and friend with Gary Vischer. And who is Gary Vischer? He is the chair and the head of the United States Chemical Safety Association. It was a meeting, an invitation to him from me by mistake. I was trying to do something, and it ended up in the United States White House. And this is where it was directed to Gary Vischer, and we spoke, and I invited, and he stayed with us. Ashok ji may remember his presence and association with him. We became close friends, and if there is any major event happening in the United States or elsewhere, we share values and opinion to do the things right, so that the generally speaking, management always tries to show, like I mentioned earlier in that incident, they are proud of their image, but we are proud of saving life. So we exchange those information of interest. Next one, please. This is the Chinese CEO and president. he employs 1.3 million employees globally. And he respected me and invited me to be with him and be guided, because there are a lot of multi-billion-dollar projects they undertake on construction activities, including railroad, to so many other things. So point here is, once you are known, people really respect you and listen to you and do their best to follow certain things. Next one is, I mentioned Larsen and Toubro. Here is the one where Ashokji and myself, we were really truly honored, and we inaugurated ASSP India chapter gallantly, and now they do a lot of knowledge sharing and professional development conferences also. Next one, please. This is the thing with pride I share. Ashok Garlapataji and myself, we both we conducted while Ashokji conducted the workshop for ASP CSP training with the CEO of BCSP, the lady then, and myself. I was doing something different with the police commissioner of Maharashtra state. So next one is, please. What an honor to be in the secretariat meeting with the principal labor secretary and director general of DISH and the surgeon general of Maharashtra state. And this is the picture of us in secretariat, and we exchange a lot of ideas and how the principal secretary, labor secretary, can introduce and guide corporation to do things right. Next one, please. While Ashokji was teaching the workshop for BCSP, Maharashtra State Police Commissioner organized me to talk to all the commissioners, police commissioners of all the major cities. That includes Mumbai, Nagpur, Nasik, you name it. And I was honored by him after my presentation to all these almost 150 officers in Thane. So it's an honor to share knowledge. Next one is Ashokji and myself. You can see the Sheikh of Oman. Next one, please.
Jitu Saab, this police commissioner is from Vizag. I just want to tell you.
Of course.
Sir,
This one is Dr. Reddy's lab.
Sir, 1 second here. I
My
work with the JD Foundation for the social
Yes.
service activities in
Yeah.
Visakhapatnam and Naro.
Yeah,
I am associated with this organization.
my next one is I visited Dr. Reddy's lab 3 times, and I conducted leadership seminars for their executives and line management. And if you go to here with me is Dr. Satish Reddy, who owns it and CEO. And at that time, he was the National Safety Council India director. So we did a wonderful things even in his pharmaceutical industry. Go next one, please. This is where Sheikh Abdullah of Oman recognized me for our contribution collectively by Ashokji and myself, and he is there with me too. So we there also established Oman Society of Safety Engineers, and there we conducted about 3 full-time 2-day seminars for their professionals. Next one is, this is a that little boy who came from humble background and walked bare feet, went to that Tamarind Tree School is being recognized with the highest honor in the world. That is, Jitu is receiving the fellow honor of ASSP, which is the highest honor award in Chicago. This was followed by Ashokji as the second Indian who too was bestowed upon with the same honor. And if you saw the next slide, Ashokji, almost 8 to 9,000 delegates from 80 different countries witnessed our fellow honor and Ashokji's spy honor, and later on his fellow honor in McCormick Convention Hall in Chicago. People came from all over the world to witness this. And this gentleman, Subhash Ludra, who is the president of IOS, United Kingdom, came to the same award ceremony from UK, and we made a meeting with him to discuss many things that collectively we can do globally. Next one, please. I'm frequently asked, what makes one an effective safety practitioner? And as you can see, best industry practices, self-confidence and competency, strong base of clear understanding of the first fundamentals, knowledge-based facts, passionately stand firm in what we believe, safety is good business, simply right thing to do. Everything is unprecedented until it happens first time. Next one, please. We continued our journey. My book describes more stories of my involvement. As for example, I was involved in establishing the first ever Middle Eastern testing and approval pharmaceutical lab in Dubai, which is currently still going on strong and operating under Dr. Mariam Marshudi, who is the CEO of that laboratory. That includes all kinds of imports, whether it's a food or drugs or anything else. Next one, please. If you are interested to see what are the accomplishments we have achieved, either solely or collectively, there is a big list of things that you can see here. And if you go to the website of our foundation, Ashok and I are listed in our very briefly, quickly, in more like bullet points, our achievement. And that's what we would like you all to be and go beyond. Next one is, we both were, for a number of years, American Society of Safety Engineers, which is now professionals, board of directors, and ambassadors. And we continued our journey. And if you show the next slide, Ashokji, that shows what we achieved as ambassadors of this world's largest professional organization. We founded so many chapters, so many student chapters around the world, and they are doing phenomenal jobs in continuing sharing, training, and educating people to do things right. Next one, please. Madhu Buraguru mentioned about code of conduct and ethics, and this is very important what he mentioned. My fellow professionals, code of conduct are an ethical benchmark for safety professionals. These standards bring accountability and responsibility, which he mentioned, and trust to those whom we serve. And I recommend that each one of you follow the code of conduct as a must. And it is a must wisdom, sounds good, but it is good only if we practice it well with passion. Next one is, almost many, including serving the community seniors and all that, I really say we make life by what we make. Anything is possible with vigor, courage, hard work, honesty, sincere dedication, and passion. Leave your legacy by doing things for others, by saving life. I wrote this memoir sharing my lifetime real journey experiences as inspirational and encouragement, especially for my fellow professionals. Stories I told were just a few and also in brief, but there are a lot more stories and in more interesting details that you would enjoy and be benefited from. My memoir is called What We Give. It is a memoir by Jitu Patel. If you Google it, it will take you, you can read it online. Next one, please. This is the book I'm talking about. And I remember Ashok ji were using this book to give as man of the year or whatever accomplishments employee received, and many industries buy in bulk, like you see on the left-hand corner, to distribute them as a gift to their employees. So next one, please. Let's go to the next one, please. To continue on the concept of what we give, which we heard many times this evening, Ashok ji and myself, we started little over 4 years ago this foundation, which was non-existent in India. And this is the only foundation, if I am correct in mentioning, in India that has certain missions to achieve. And this is where we started to give back, and 51 outreach knowledge transfer sessions we already completed, and this is the first one for this OML session for this new fraternity. And similarly, we also do the same thing. We just don't limit to ourselves, we share it globally. And this organization we have registered, and it is also almost a little over 4 years and going strong. Thank you. Next one. We already talked all these commonly asked questions, which are, if you see on top, there is a podcast, and that podcast link is mentioned here. So if you just copy it and paste it in your browser, you will be able to hear me, what really made me a safety specialist, how I took interest in the profession, and all other things is in that podcast. So Jayanti ji, encourage that link to be shared with everybody to listen to, and they may get something as an encouragement and inspiration to follow the path, and even they may be beyond. Very quickly, I will just show our, as Madhudi mentioned earlier, our main duty, responsibility to function is to save people from injured or save people's life. Next one, or property damage from any fires or anything, or both of these. So next one, please. There are so many large-scale disasters, and really, I say, resulting into catastrophe, multiple fatalities, not even million, multi-billion loss of property damage and production losses happen. There is one in UK happened many years ago, Flixborough disaster, and it was attributed because of compliance with the required change. Many management of change, which was mismanaged, and that resulted into this massive explosion, killing people and losing the plant. Next one, please. This is what you might be very much interested, Bhopal gas tragedy, and that is really still, we are suffering from the pain. So many thousands of people, families still suffer with so much things. None of the 6 safety systems at the plant were functional. Plant was designed with unproven and untested technology and cut corners on safety and maintenance in order to save money. The flare system was isolated, and the critical element within the plant's protection system was out of commission for some 3 months prior to accident. Plant modification, in other words, haze off of safety critical elements, was lacking. Poor modification and maintenance. Maintenance procedures and training and competence levels were questionable. Decommissioning of the refrigeration system was a plant modification, and that really was the serious concern. No information was available regarding the hazardous nature of methyl isocyanide and what medical actions should be taken. Bottom line is no risk assessment. All the changes were mismanaged and lack of management of change procedure. And there was a lot of corruption involved in that incident, when the country still continued to suffer with children who were born with so many special need care requirement, and there are some special schools built, designed, and they are training, educating those children. Next one, so many BP, British Petroleum, and other incident just listed here. I don't want to go into details because each one takes a long time to go through case studies, and I have done some of those in my early active time, 3 months to cover certain things, to giving more detailed scientific, technical, and engineering details to train them, teach them. And that has been also reduced to 7 days, 3 days, and so on and so forth. So this is where I think you can go it. This one is also one of the largest refineries incident, other than the one I shared with you. And in that, if you have a good eyesight, you will find me somewhere in that rebels and disastrous situation at hand. Next one, Ashokji. The bottom line here is that we hear people talking about loss prevention management program or process safety management or safety management system. It all started in early 70s and it accelerated in 80s. And you can see on the left-hand side, late 70s and 80s, we had 13 elements, and we used to teach one element at a time to whole company employees, and that includes all level of people, bottom level, middle management, and executives, to know. And each topic, each element is to take almost like half a day to teach them. And then as the time went on, there were several others during 90s, more elements added, which you can see on the right hand side. And nowadays everybody and his professional team are talking about safety management system, and that is really important. Next one, please. I just share with you my 55 years experience in the field in all over the world, that crows are black globally. That means safety culture, which Madhuji also mentioned, is no different from one country to the other. Only thing differs is degree varies. Some are little more conscious than others, but that's everywhere improvement, the training and education is of paramount importance. Yeah. So Next one is, whenever you want to bring any change, and I saw Jayanti ji mentioned about behavior-based safety. I personally, Ashok ji and our good friend Bill Sims Jr., who is a master in the topic, we have done enormous amount of presentation throughout the world and can share with you that to bring change in safety culture is a process. And people generally resist change. People are not receptive, and it is not easy to bring the change. It is not simple, and it is not quick. But if all your efforts you concentrate and you start to bring a change, no matter how slow it may be, it will definitely will be worthwhile. And yes, Dasokji, next one, please. Next one, please. If you bring those changes that you intend to do it in changing the safety culture, you will save things from happening. You can see that collapsing tank. Everybody can. We have a work permit issued, and is it? But it wasn't properly issued because the right on top where the vent is, it was covered with a plastic sheet so that the birds do not see it and do the dropping there. That was employees failed to check it out and take it out before the suction pump put on, and that created a vacuum. Similarly, in another cases that the exhaust place was covered by the honeycomb, and even filters like super tankers have a mask having the flame arrestor. This is the flame arrestor yellow circle you're seeing it. That is covered with the dust and other things, and it doesn't really serve the purpose of its use. And you want to save seeing something like this, which happened in Jaipur and many other places. Tank 11 in UK, same thing happened. So we repeat the incidents after. And BLAVE, which is the boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion, can result into the next slide, please, showing that the mighty big steel spheres can rupture and flow as far as half a mile or even a 3/4 of a mile. This you can see the pictures of the BLAVE occurring, and so you have to understand all the fundamentals to save things happening from this. Next one. So let us see more closely what should be the culture. So Ashok ji and myself, we co-chaired a conference in Kuala Lumpur twice. And in one conference, at the end of the 2-day conference, we spared about 2 hours inviting the executive management in to sit with the safety professionals and have a debate. And we control and summarize this as a white paper. And this was done few years ago, but even today in 2026, it still holds true. And if I'm wrong, Ashokji, correct me. All that we discuss with the executive, including CEOs of oil companies and many others in that conference, it still holds. And if you sit, let me say, although improvement in HSE performance across the world is in positive trend, incidents worldwide suggest, but much work still needs to be done. Currently, can you go back, please? Currently, standards, policies, and procedures are existing, but lack of implementation and enforcement are seen. The culture is still based on production and profitability. HSE is a lip service. It is a challenge to educate the management who once believed that HSE is the HSE professional's responsibility. With effective communication initiatives like corporate social responsibilities, it has now turned into HSE is the management responsibility. Oil and gas, petrochemical industries efforts must continue to make HSE excellence. It involves teamwork through engaging workers, supervisory line management, policy making, executive management, and HSE professionals. And one must remember that production, profits, and HSE go hand in hand. On a long run, this approach would be prudent socially, morally, legally, and financially. Next slide, please, Ashokji. Go ahead. Next slide. Next one, please. Next one. Next one. So summary is, in summarizing my whole talk, is that you heard my stories from a boy coming from a humble and challenging background where generations lived in confined darkness away from the advancing world. Encourage you, I personally, along with Ashokji, encourage you to be curious and aim high. Be a proactive, optimistic warrior. Be a good communicator, as Madhuji mentioned in his small opening remarks. Hard work, honesty, dedication with commitment. You are bound to excel with excellence. Be proud, like Sunil, for achieving on merits and self-respect, no nepotism. Maintain good code of conduct and ethics. In my first OML session, I said a few stories to motivate you and to be outstanding professionals. My message is simple, that nothing is impossible. And as I mentioned, passion is powerful, which will enable you to make your dreams come true. We make a life by what we give to live a valuable and successful life. Next one, please. All this is, if you can understand the meaning of all these words beginning with S, face the challenges with strong determination. You are bound to be a world champion. Next one. कोशिश करने वाले की कभी हार नहीं होती. You will never be a loser. My thank you for listening for such a long time. God bless you and have a good sleep. This is the Jaipur incident report that I will be happy to share with Ashokji's support to Jayanti ji to share with the attendees and others. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you, Jitu Saab. It was a wonderful session. Absolutely. If you are sitting in a hall, we should give a standing ovation. But nevertheless, I'll stand up and give you the standing ovation. So,
you made it a laughter session now.
No. People are giving a lot of feedback on that. It is amazing to know your life, and you came back all the way from India to the world stage. So it's a good initiative, as well as a information to all the AP Chef students, as well as it's encouraging. Since it is a student event, or the first OML, I just want to brief that we do have a scholarship program which is going on now. These are the scholarship winners who are pursuing academic safety programs. Professor Ramana, who is in Hyderabad, is in charge for this, as well as Dr. Lakshmi Narayan and Mr. Dakshinamurthy at Chennai. They are in charge, and we already announced for this year, the last date for submission is 31st August. If you are pursuing in the safety program, you can reach out to Mr. Madhu Burra or Jayanti Garu for applying the scholarships, or go to our website. These are our financial donors, these are our knowledge donors and ambassadors, and of course, we are calling for the volunteers as well. And yes, we announced this. Our next program is on the cost of neglecting safety by Mr. Dr. B.M. Srinivas. I think he's on the call. It's on 26th August. And yes, we don't want to waste more time. Let's give back to create safer tomorrow. Again, as I was telling, that we are looking for volunteers from the enrolled students to coordinate these activities among the students. So you will learn leadership as well as organizational growth and development in that process. With that, we would like to thank everybody, and I give it to Mr. Jayanti for vote of thanks. Mr. Jayanti Lachaya. So we would like to thank Mr. Dr. Ramana and other professors who attended today, and all those students who attended. We have around 25 people on the call. Again, together we can achieve more. With that, we conclude this session, and Mr. Madhubura is on the line. He can say a few words before we conclude. And otherwise, I'll stop the recording and we open it for the stop sharing.
If
and
there is a possibility to take a picture of those who are in attendance.
Yes. Can you kindly open the cameras, please? All the students. Okay. Let me click the picture.
My apologies that I am not able to take questions because of my hearing problem.
No, it's fine. We have already, our friends are there in Vizag. They can always share with you the questions if anybody has got. This is only the first OML, and we are going to have many things. So let's hope for the best. Yes. So that concludes our session. Unless anybody has got any comments or any questions, we can always exchange. Let me stop recording.
Yes, there's a hand up there. Mr. Sridhar.
Go ahead, Sridhar.
Good evening, all. It's already 10:40 in India. Still a lot of people is there. Thank you very much. Sir, it's a very good session. Actually, so many days we know Father of Nation, but we know now we understand why people are calling you. And really, it's an inspiring story. And we want to learn those already this much of people, experienced people, give your feedback and life stories. Like now we know the Jitu sir story. Now we want to know the Ashok sir story, and also like this. Then only people will know that everyone actually live stories, right? We now the people are seeing. We may read many books, but nothing. Those are in the live. We know the stories when we will inspire more. That is only my thing, sir. Thank you very much. Really, it's a great session today. See, one movie is also nowadays is very difficult to sit 2.5 hours. They give the interval. But today, I think even we won't go for any tea break. So that is that much inspired for this Jitu sir stories. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Sridhar. It's truly amazing to know people are interested. Yes, of course, many people in our group having experienced people as well as the youngsters, emerging people. So that's why we want to have this platform to exchange the ideas and to exchange the things. Thank you, Sridhar.
Yeah, I think, Ashokji, we should bring in more people like Jitubhai, yourself, and others to share some of your experiences on safety, fire, and other related topics, which will be a lot of information. to the students.
Yes, yes,
think
sir.
we'll
That's why we
regularly-
call it as a mentoring and leadership session. So
Yeah.
it's good. It's mainly for the focusing on the students. That's what we need to see. So that's yeah. That's why I want some volunteers from the students who will be really coordinating these activities. You know, every one of us so busy with our regular works, but we want some students to come forward and take the leadership, take the coordination work. You know, that will be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely they'll come.
Yes. Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you,
Okay.
Madhu Puragaru. And yes, go ahead, Dinesh ji.
No, we'll take
Just
lead.
allow
Yes.
me to say thank you to our Jitu sir. Really, it is your incredible journey, and it will be inspiring and I think eye-opening to many of us, people like me and other safety professionals. Really, hats off to you. Thank you.
Jitu Sab, any final remarks in 3 words?
All I can say is I am like a grandfather, and I really wanted to give this a good takeoff. And like I mentioned in my presentation, Madhu Guru gave me and made my dream come true to come to Visakhapatnam. But that is what I want all the students to think about it. Aim high, aim optimistically, and work for it. Thy shall will win. No effort will give you any negativity. If there is any failure, take it as a positive thing. What can I do to make it happen? And that's what I want to see, that if I succeeded in sending the message, encouraging all the youngsters to take care of our nation's industries, our nation's health, safety, and environment, and not only a nation, spread it around the world. Thank you.
Only
Thank you.
with my last words is, I'll make your dream true once again by inviting all of you to Visakhapatnam. We will conduct a professional development program only for the students.
Yes, that will be good, sir. We'll be happy to join there.
That's a good value came out of this presentation.
We
I
will
will
come,
be I will be the
come to
first one to jump
Bhogapuram
onto the plane.
airport.
Most welcome. Definitely, I'll organize everything. Don't worry.
Yes, yes, yes.
So stay
Namaskaram. Thank
safe,
you so much. Yeah.
lead safe, and save
Yes.
lives.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much, and I apologize for people to go to sleep late.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Have a nice
Thank you.
time. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.